Winter is over, it is spring, it is gonna get hot pretty soon for this summer, so let me show you how to maintenance your outdoor and indoor units so that you don't have any problems this year. The first thing we're gonna do is check out the electrical, and to do that you need to turn off the disconnects. Pretty much just pull out what you got. It might be different from what you have, but this is the one we're working on today. This cover needs to come off, and it's gonna take either a 5/16 or a 1/4 inch hex head. So you can either get some nut drivers or get your socket set, but that's what it's gonna take to take off. Let's pop it down. Come on. And we have access to the inside. So you're gonna have a couple of components right here. This is a generator soft start kit, so we're not gonna worry about that. But we do have a capacitor and we have a contactor that we need to take a look at. The first thing I want to do is take a look at this capacitor. Now you might want to take a picture of it just in case you're not used to hooking up capacitors all the time, so you remember where the wires go. But I want to take my meter, which has resistors all built onto the inside, and that will discharge the capacitor. You know, just run it over, voltage, touch them, it discharges a capacitor. I normally use needle nose, but once it's discharged, you can use whatever to take these off. You just need, I prefer to take all of them off, just make sure I don't have any wires touching it. Next up, I want to switch my meter, assuming you have a meter that reads microfarads, over to microfarads. Now this is a 45/5 capacitor. I'm going to take and I'm going to go between common, which typically has the 4 terminals, and hermetic, which typically has 3 terminals. I'm going to go between those two. That. And we are reading 45.1, so that hermetic side is good, the compressor side is good. Go across the common to the 1, which is normally the fan, and we have 5. So this capacitor is good, and I can hook it back up. Next up, we're going to look in here at the contactor. So the contactor is a bridge that allows your compressor and fan to receive 240 when the thermostat turns it on. So right up here, you can see that it's a little dark. That's carbon pitting. I'm going to recommend replacing this contactor before the summer because it's going to get a lot of use, and it's not exactly bright, so hopefully it doesn't fail, but it quite possibly could in the future. It's just a recommendation to get replaced now before the summer hits. Now the next thing you do is to clean the outdoor units. You can either clean it from the outside, you can take the top off and clean it from the inside, you can take the whole thing apart, including all the panels, and clean it straight down, flush everything off. If you have a really maintained system, you don't need to take all the panels off, but you do need to clean it from the inside out. And the easiest way to do that without taking all the panels off is to just lift the fan up and set it against a wall. If you can't set it against a wall, don't set the fan to where you're actually bending the blade and hooking it on the side of the unit. Take the time, undo the wires, pull them out, but just take the fan out, spray the outdoor coil, and then clean it from the inside. Watch how I do that. 5/16 is what this fan takes, but you might need multi-bits for this one, like a 3/8 or 7/16. But take your screws out, take your screws out, put them in your pocket. We're going to set this one up, pull some wire out. We're going to set this one up against the wall. There we go. So I'm going to take my cleaner and I'm going to spray it on the outside, and you can get coil cleaner, evaporator cleaner, condenser cleaner, whatever. You can probably get that from Home Depot or online. I'll actually leave a link down below for you to pick some up. But I'm just going to spray the fins on the outside because all the dirt is on the outside, not so much the inside. Because the airflow goes through the sides and out the top, all the dirt will go through the sides and pretty much just stay there. Now that we have the chemical on the outside of the coil, we can spray from the inside to the out, knock all that dirt out and flush it. Don't use something crazy like a pressure washer. You'll destroy the fins and end up having to pay a ridiculous amount of money to get it fixed. Take something soft, decently soft, and spray from the inside out. Something that's not going to damage it. You know what you have best. After you're done with the inside, I like to give it a quick rinse on the outside just to make sure it's all off. I really don't want to leave soap on the metal because the soap will actually destroy the coating, discolor it, and just make it not look good. Especially the carrier coils with the black coated fins, it destroys them. So you definitely want to get all the soap off. Once that's done, it's time to put the fan back on. Line it up with your holes and just screw it back down. Now that's it for the outside. Let's move to the inside. This is a media filter cabinet. If you have one of these, it is time to pop it off and check it out. Okay. This media filter definitely needs to be replaced. It's supposed to be pretty much as white as that. All that gray has definitely done its job and kept the coil clean. If you're able to get to your evaporator coil, then this is the perfect time to check and see how dirty it is. And while we have it open, let's go ahead and spray it down with some evaporator coil cleaner. Definitely don't use anything harsh. You can find a coil cleaner at Home Depot. It's like an aerosol can. Just go ahead and coat the fins and then just let it dry off, because a lot of this stuff is just no rinse type cleaner. Time to check out the drain line. So right here we have a drain line with a P-trap and a flush valve. First thing I'm going to do is check this P-trap. It looks pretty nasty, so I'm going to take, a lot of times I like to leave a zip tie up here. Take the zip tie, just kind of push everything in there. This is pretty much the first place that anything is going to build up, is this P-trap right here. If not, it'll probably build up a little bit farther down. Got some stuff knocked out. I'm just going to take some water and I'm going to fill it up. Try and get some of that stuff out of there. As long as you knock it loose, it'll float up and pretty much clear itself out. But knocking it loose with a zip tie, a brush, whatever, will be the best bet to clear out the original P-trap at, especially an air handler. A lot of furnaces don't have them, but an air handler is exactly where you want the P-trap, and you want to clear that out first. Let's flush this valve. So this is a flush valve. You can take a tank of nitrogen, hoses, air compressor, whatever. The way it works is you turn the handle to where the arrow points away from the system. Undo that and hook up your hoses. There is a Schrader in here, so you want to put your depressor on there. It doesn't work if you turn the hose around. I have my nitrogen set up on test, so I just want to push as much pressure as possible. Shut it off a couple times, play with it a little bit, and you're good to go. We are flushed. Turn this valve back to open, or else the moment you start to produce water, it will immediately shut the system off. Undo your hose and you're good to go. If your drain line doesn't have a valve, but it does have this fitting right here, you're in luck. This is called a union. It is a way for you to access the drain line without having to cut it. It has a rubber gasket in it to prevent water from coming out, and it has, of course, the opening that allows you to flush or run a drain, whatever you want to do inside the union. Now for this setup, we're going to need three things. We're going to need a nozzle, a cone, some way to direct pressure. We're going to need a bottle of water because we need to refill this P-trap after we flush it out. And we're going to need a cap in order to put over this, because once we push water this way, we don't want a torrent of water to come right back up at our face. When you're ready to flush, pressurize yourself, get your cone ready, try and hold on to everything at the same time, and blast it out. Now that you have it flushed out, make sure that your gasket is still in your union. Thread that back together. Make sure it's nice and tight. You're going to take your stem, take your cap off, because that'll cause a lot of problems. And you need to fill this P-trap back up with water. You just blasted all of it out. Just fill it up. Once it starts draining, that's enough. Any more water will just flush right out. That's a wrap. Besides flushing the drain line, there's one thing you got to do in the inside equipment. You got to power it down and take off this cover. What we're going to do is check out the blower motor and capacitor and see if the capacitor is good, if there's anything that needs to be done. This is your capacitor. Now you're going to be checking it the same way that you check the outside unit. This one is just a little bit different because they're not dual capacitors, so you don't have to worry about hermetic and fan. Let's see what this one looks like. And right there you can actually see that this one has a massive problem. Yep, that terminal is destroyed, so we're gonna have to get this replaced and get this fixed. If we didn't check this blower, we would not have a working system for the summer. If you have any questions about your maintenance, then leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. If you have any serious issues that you foresee or something that just doesn't look right, then look up a very reputable company in your area and give them a call. If you're looking for a hat this summer, then look no further than the World of HVAC trucker hat. You have multiple colors, you have a brown, red, blue, black. I can put it on either side and make them right here in my garage. And you can also pick up the World of HVAC quick reference card that now does R32 and 454B on the back with the PT chart. So click the link down below, use promo code YouTube for 15% off, and I'll see y'all in the next one.